Got your energy stories for the 5th week of July, 2025. And in the first one, Oregon politicians passed 2 bipartisan bills to enable microgrids within the larger electric grid. One bill directs the Oregon Public Utility Commission to develop a regulatory structure to enable both private and community-enabled microgrids, while allowing municipalities to set up designated microgrid zones. The second bill would permit utilities or consultants to evaluate microgrid interconnection requests that would then interconnect those microgrids with a larger power system. Also in the microgrid space, some low and moderate income native Hawaiians on Oahu will soon have the opportunity to get microgrids integrating car-mounted solar and batteries. A 2-carport configuration will combine 9 kilowatts of solar, a 40 kilowatt-hour battery, and an electric vehicle charger in a package called Utility Lite. Homeowners will pay a fixed monthly subscription fee of $300 for 25 years, which equates to about 18 cents per kilowatt-hour, far less than Hawaiian Electric's prevailing 42 cents per kWh rate. Utility Lite has 9 contracts thus far, with additional letters of intent with residential customers for another 120 systems in a community that's currently under construction. The microgrids will be connected to Hawaiian Electric and can access HECO's Bring Your Own Device program with rebates from $400 per kW to $800 for batteries that sell 70% of their stored capacity to the grid for 2 hours a day. On another entirely different scale, China has begun building a $167 billion massive hydropower project in Tibet that will dwarf its Three Gorges Dam. Engineering estimates put the generation potential at 70,000 megawatts. For context, ERCOT's Texas grid peaked at just over 85,000 megawatts last year. A joint venture involving BMW, Honda, Ford, and Nissan called ChargeScape heralded a partnership with PSEG Long Island to sign up EVs in PSEG's peak load reduction program, with managed charging that will reduce summer peak demand. The goal is to integrate over 6,200 EV drivers into the program, and customers will get incentives for optimizing their charging to make sure charging-related demand does not exceed limits during certain times at specific locations. Also in the EV space, Chinese EV manufacturer NIO says it has performed a total of 80 million battery swaps in China, 7 years after completing its first swap. It took only 110 days for NIO to get from 70 million to 80 million transactions. Well, Google has inked a long-duration storage contract with Italian company Energy Dome, while also making a strategic investment in that unit. The 5-year-old startup uses a liquid carbon dioxide-based battery that can provide a supply of electricity for between 8 and 24 hours. The deal with Google is intended to promote development of multiple projects in North America, Europe, and the Asia-Pacific region, and the companies indicated they had a pipeline of sites and projects in development and contracting stages. Dome Energy already has a contract for a 20-megawatt pilot with Alliant Energy in Wisconsin and another project with Engie in Sardinia, as well as a 160-megawatt undertaking to be developed in India. Well, GE Vernova and Crusoe, a company that supplies energy to data centers, have signed an agreement for 29 of GE Vernova's LM2500 Express aeroderivative gas turbine packages to power Crusoe AI data centers. This is expected to support about 1,000 megawatts of demand. Aeroderivatives are just what they sound like, turbines designed originally for airplanes, and they can operate in a highly flexible manner. The announcement did not specify when delivery will take place, which is an important piece of data given the long lead times that have been announced by GE and others for most turbines, with some of those lead times over 5 years. Merchant energy company Talon will buy 2 natural gas combined cycle plants in PJM's grid, one in Ohio and one in Pennsylvania from Caithness Energy for $3.5 billion. The 2 plants, with a combined nameplate rating of just over 1,900 megawatts, are expected to change hands by Q4. Talon has expressed a goal of serving large loads, particularly data centers. And being long capacity in PJM just got a whole lot better, as the results from PJM's base residual capacity auction were announced last week. As feared by energy consumers, the price is pegged out at the negotiated ceiling price of $329.17. That cap was set up last year after being proposed by Pennsylvania Governor Josh Shapiro and blessed and approved by both PJM and the FERC. Last year's BRA had set a record price at nearly $270 per megawatt day. PJM estimates the total cost to load that will be paid for capacity by all customers is $16.1 billion for the 2026-27 delivery year. That's up from $14.7 billion the year prior. And that compares to a total of just $2.2 billion for the 2024-25 delivery year. The next auction for 2027-28 will take place in December. With more data load anticipated and almost no new supply being added to the mix, it's a seller's market, and other non-data center companies will become increasingly displeased with the inflationary pressures brought on largely by existing and forecasted data load. Watch for the political firestorm to intensify rapidly on this one. Well, that's all for this week. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you again soon.